Welcome back to part 2 of creating objects. But in this method or in this video, we'll be creating them using classes. So if you didn't check out the previous video where we created objects using the object constructor method, make sure to check it out before checking out this video. It's linked down in the description, and let's get into it. And yeah, let's start coding. So we're going to create a new object but using classes, and you need the keyword class. So you create the class of mammal, okay? Mammal. And then inside of that, remember with the objects, when you're creating a new object, you say new object. That's the constructor method, or you could use the function, but over here we use the class of constructor. So you need that word constructor in front. Awesome. Then from there, we're gonna take in some arguments, name, okay? I'm gonna pass in age and height. Okay, now from here, we can finally create our new object. So we're just gonna say this.name is equal to name, okay? This.age is equal to age. Then lastly, this.height is equal to height. Okay, now we have created a class that we can create objects from using this class, but let's just give it a few methods. So we know mammals can walk, so a walking method or function, we're gonna call that console.log. Okay, from here you can console.log this.name, okay, whatever the name is gonna be. Then you can just give it this, has just walked. Okay, perfect. Then from there we can give it a second method. A second method, we know that mammals eat. So let's create the function there, or a method, console.log this.name, then 8, and it already 8. Now that we've created this, let's just create a new object using this. So we're going to say variable, let's give it human1 is equal to new mammal. Okay, we are extending it from the mammal class, or not extending, creating it from the mammal class. Remember, it took in 3 parameters. The first one was name, so let's give this human a name, John. The second one was age, 23. John is 23. And his height is going to be a string because we're going to indicate the metrics we're using, 180 centimeters. Now, if we want to console.log John or human 1, we can easily do that. Just console.log human 1. And when we save it, we can see over here that John is a mammal, his age, his height, and his name. And it's a prototype, which means he has these classes, eat, walk, okay? This is one way. Let's create a dog quick. Dog is equal to, and then is equal to new mammal. From there, we're gonna pass in parameters. I don't know what you'll call dogs. I just call it sporty or sporty. 28, not 28, dog cannot be 28. 3 years old, okay, in human years. And then his height is, let's say, 50 centimeters. That's how tall he is, okay. If we console.log this dog, console.log dog, okay, we can see now we have a dog and a human. Now let's access the methods inside this dog. So we're going to say dog.walk, okay, and dog.walk, Sporty has just walked, so we can access these methods easily. Now the second method that I want to show you is, let's say we're creating a class, a new class now, but then we wanted to extend or inherit the mammal class. How can we do that? We're going to create a new class. We're going to call that human is equal, no, human extends, okay, extends mammal. So which means it's going to inherit all the properties or all the methods that mammals inherit. That way you can create multiple classes using one structure. But it's not structures in JavaScript because there's no structure. So we're creating multiple classes or objects using the first class, okay? Now, what we're going to do over here is create that object. But then we need a constructor, but then we have access to that constructor already. So we just have to repeat everything we did on top. So we're going to say name, age, and height. But we do not have to go this.height, this.age, this.that, because we're already extending it, so we're already inheriting it. But in order to use it, we have to use this super keyword, okay? Super keyword will take the same arguments and the same arguments. Now we have access to this, okay? Now let's create a unique method or unique. Okay, we forgot something over here. It's not supposed to be semicolon, it's supposed to be that. And the super is supposed to be inside of this, since it's a new object. Perfect, that's how it's supposed to be. Now, let's create a new method that only humans have. Humans are the only ones that can talk using our words, for example. So we're going to say console.log, we're creating a new method inside here, console.log. This.name, okay, this.name says hello, I'm a human, okay? So that's the method that we're creating that's unique to this class. So that's what inheritance means. You can take everything. He can walk, talk, and eat. He's inheriting walking and eating from the mammal class, but then he has his own method of talking. Now let's create a new human. Let John equal to new human, not mammal this time. New human, we're gonna pass in the arguments or the parameters of what's his name, John. We already know that. Okay, his age 24, since we have two Johns, I think, so we have to distinguish. And then his height 190 or 200 centimeters, 6 foot something. Okay, now let's console.log John. Console.log John. Okay, and once we console.log John, we can see that John is a human that extends methods from the mammal. Okay, and his own method is to talk, and then the methods he extends from mammal is to walk, eat, and all of that. So if I go here and say John dot talk, okay, call that function. It's going to say John says hello, I'm a human. But over here for the dog, we cannot do that with the dog because the dog cannot talk. Okay, and it didn't create it using its own new class. Dog.talk should throw an error. Talk is not a function in dog, so a dog cannot talk. But then if you want to say John.walk, just to check if it works, John.walk, we can see John has just walked. So make sure to check out the previous video, and the next video I'll be explaining arrays and their inherited methods.